Christchurch. It's where Mary Jane Kelly was killed. The 10 Bells pub, Spitalfields Market, and I walk around and show you where Annie Chapman, the second Ripper victim, was killed. I've just put them, the reason I've just put them in this video is just to show you how close everything is. So Hanbury Street it's the next right actually. Number 29 Hanbury Street. There's Spitalfields Market there. In fact, if you actually look down the very bottom, I think you can just see it. It says the Commercial Tavern. In 1888, that was the actual police station. So, obviously, you can gather how everything was just on top. You know, everything was on the doorstep. So here we are is Hanbury Street. Normally the other streets of the Ripper victims have changed because of the notoriety, particularly in the case of well, what was Bucks Row, it's now Darwood Street. The neighbours campaigned about 4 years after the murder and got the name changed. But that's Poppy's there. It's a very famous fish and chip shop in London. Martin Kemp always goes in. So here we are, Hanbury Street. In actual fact, the right side of the street hasn't actually changed a great deal since the Jack the Ripper days. So number 29 is just a bit further down here. Annie Chapman, she was brutally murdered on the 8th of September 1888. It's believed she met Jack at the 10 Bells around the corner. She was nicknamed Dark Annie. The actual day of her death, she had bruising to her face, and that was she'd been in a very violent fight on Dorset Street with a character named Harry the Hawker. She received bruises, black eye. I've never heard much about Harry the Hawker though. Basically, her body was found 29 Hanbury Street, 5:30 in the morning. Here we are, yeah. So number 29. So this is where 29 Hanbury Street was, which it was. Well, it was a house where I think, you know, people were living like 9 to a room, 14 to a room, and all that. And basically, you know, the prostitutes, they didn't have any money, so they needed to find all the little anything that they could take the punters. And 29 Hanbury Street, there was a door that would literally go out the back, and that was the reason why she was killed there. She was seen literally stood exactly there about half an hour before death. That's where you get the witness from the story that walked past and said, "The seen Annie Chapman with a gentleman," and he said, "Will you?" And she said yes. In actual fact, her body I mean, she was suffering from I can never pronounce this name, tuberculosis or something like that. So she probably only had weeks to live anyway. But in actual fact, her body would have been, I don't know whether you can, just about where that white pole was. So she's forever known as, you know, that's the legacy she's been left, because she was murdered by Jack the Ripper. But she wouldn't have actually, you know, she was literally weeks away from death, and that gives you an inkling of how desperate these women were. That woman was literally dying on her feet, and she, you know, she's out walking the streets just to get money. Obviously it's cold, and even though that was well, autumn, which is, you know, just the summer was just finished, it was a really cold autumn that year, and you know, you could just not imagine living on the streets. So it was either, I mean, many prostitutes in them days were known to say, do you know what, if Jack the Ripper gets me, then so be it. So you could imagine how bleak these ladies' lives were, and that's why most of them took to gin. So this is where Annie Chapman met her end, 29 Hanbury Street. There's normally I've come here over the years, and there's normally bits of graffiti that kind of, you know, something about Annie Chapman. I can't say anything at the minute. Probably always been painted over, but 29 Hanbury Street was here.